compare us to virtually any other state in the Union. We are faring far better because of the tough choices we've made to protect our quality of life, to move forward and not back. We have held on to our job base better than all but about 4 other states in the country over these last 2 really difficult recessionary years. Recessionary years that would have been the Second Great Depression had the president not acted as affirmatively as he did to stave it off. But recently, in fact, just the other day, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce ranked Maryland 4th among the country's most enterprise-friendly states because of our assets, our innovative economy, because of our creative class, because of our ability to create the new jobs and the knowledge-based jobs of the future. Our unemployment rate actually decreased in April, and that was the first decrease in unemployment that we had seen since December 2007. Sounds like an awfully long time ago, doesn't it? It is now 24% lower than the national rate. We also are one of only 7 or 8 states in the country, despite all of the cuts and all of the belt tightening and all of those things that your state government has had to do as businesses had to do over the last few years. We are one of only 7 or 8 states in the country that has a AAA bond rating. AAA bond rating, a seal of approval. A seal of approval and fiscal responsibility that's certified by all 3 of the major rating agencies. And for the 2nd year in a row, and for the first time ever, Education Week magazine ranked your state's public school system as the best in the nation. Not number 2, not number 3, number 1, and number 1 2 years in a row, even in the face of these difficult times. And I have some more good news to share with you. Thanks to the hard work and perseverance of businesses and workers here in Prince George's County and throughout our state, since February, we have actually had 2 months in a row of positive job creation. So that is net job creation, positive job gains of 36,000 jobs gained in the state of Maryland over these last 2 months. In fact, when the March numbers initially came out, in Little Maryland, 2% of the nation's population, we created 20% of the nation's new jobs in that month. Texas edged us out once they did the revision, but we won't dwell on that. And the president is here in town today to talk about the national numbers for May, which appear to be up, I think, a positive gain of 400,000 jobs compared to the 290,000 jobs that the nation gained in the last month. So we move forward, not back. There is no place, and I think we would all agree, no place more powerful in our state, in our county, or in our country as a family home. And there's nothing more critical for keeping that home than a job. We have really been hit in our state, as other states have been, with fighting back this wave of a foreclosure crisis, haven't we? I mean, neighborhoods that you never ever expected to see people walking away from homes. You see people walking away from homes, unable to hang on to that family home, unable to bring some of those nameless, faceless, big national mortgage servicing giants to the table before the inevitable grinding mechanisms of foreclosure forces a family out on the curb. We've done some good things, and Ray Skinner's here from our Office of Housing and Community Development. Together as a state, we actually have been pushing back against this since the beginning of this crisis. We've invested about $4 million in nonprofit housing counseling agencies to act as mitigation originators, and we have a rate that is actually lower, except for about 2 months of this crisis, that is lower than the national rate foreclosure, and we've actually seen it finally coming down if you look at the trend over the last 4 months. But one of the things that kicks into effect on July 1st is new legislation that we passed in the General Assembly, with bipartisan support, I might add, to give every homeowner in our state a right to a mandatory mediation if they should so choose. In other words, instead of if the big mortgage servicing companies can pick up the phone to put a family into a home, we believe that they should have to pick up the phone before they put a family out on the curb. And so that kicks in July. Alex Sanchez, who heads up our Department of Labor Licensing and Regulation, works in tandem with Ray on this strategy, and we're ramping up at the Office of Administrative Hearings to handle those mediations. I also wanted to outline just a few other things that we're doing as I conclude. We passed a new hiring tax credit for any business, family-owned, large, medium, small, publicly traded, that hires a Marylander off of the unemployment rolls of our state. It's a $5,000 credit. I need your help spreading the word on this. Every job's important. Every job counts. In order to prime the pump of small business lending, we also created this year a small business loan guarantee fund. We've been able to put $10 million in it. We suspect that will leverage another $60, $70 million where we guarantee a portion of that loan and hopefully encourage banks to do more lending on Main Street. We have also testified in Congress, and we believe that the President's proposal will pass that allows states to draw down on $2 billion that will be set aside, I believe, from the recycled TARP dollars to really beef up their loan guarantee funds, and we believe we can do a lot more work on that. We also proposed the other day the I-270 corridor, a program or initiative we call Invest Maryland, where we allow insurance companies to kind of pay forward their tax liabilities, and then we invest those in the Maryland Venture Fund, which then leverages those dollars and gets a higher return than we would otherwise receive. And that fund then becomes self-perpetuating and helps get venture capital to our startups in this creative state of ours. And to ensure that all of our people have the skills to compete in an increasingly knowledge-based economy, we're making record investments not only in our public schools, where we've actually increased school construction dollars for Prince George's County in these tough times by 67% compared to the prior 4 years. But the Skills to Compete initiative is an initiative to help our workers, when they become displaced, to go back and get that certification so that they can go to the next level. I ran into a man the other day when we were putting up solar panels in Howard County up on a roof. All the media turned out, by the way. They really wanted to see the governor fall off the roof. WJZ sent the traffic cam, up in a helicopter the whole time looking down. I think he's going to fall, Ken. But I met a guy there who works for a new company that installs solar panel on residential on homes. And he had been laid off from a moving company. He went to community college, got the certification he needed to do that sort of work, and now he's working for a new company that had all of about 5 employees 8 months ago, and now has 67 employees, and more work to do than they can catch up with. So that's all part of this notion of skills to compete. While some other states that we see in the newspaper and we read about have a problem, have definite shortages in terms of opportunity, sometimes our shortages are more shortages of skills. If our people have the skills, the opportunities are there. In higher education, we are alone among 50 states, therefore, in going 4 years in a row without a penny's increase in college tuition. Only state to do that. And recently, many of you might have heard about Kiplinger's ranking of University of Maryland schools now among the top 10 best value universities in the country. There was another report, Parents and Colleges magazine, and they ranked not only Maryland in the top 10, but Bowie as the #1 best value education at a public university.